Hey, how you doing? It's Thursday. And this morning I said to my husband, oh good, there's a new episode of The Apprentice out. And he said, Lindsay, every week on Thursday, you say that to me and I remind you that it's not out until the evening and so we don't watch it until Friday. I said, oh yeah, what's that about? I just want to share. It's like because it's like a routine in my mind to think of it on Thursday, I can't seem to break that pattern. Isn't it funny? So maybe sharing it with you, I will. That was just my funny of the moment. I sat down in my room to come and talk to you and I thought two things. One was, I don't know what I'm going to speak about, but I'm just going to push record and chat. And the other is our cute little cat's coming with us today. So hi Luna, which is very nice. I'm just appreciating that, just feeling the gratitude. The fact I didn't know what I was going to speak to you about has started to stir what I'm going to speak about, which is what it's like to sit in space which is not spoken for, which is not organised. And particularly thinking about that, I was thinking about it in context of you guys, but that is always a mirror for what I put out in my work for you guys as parents. What it's like for us to sit as parents with space that we haven't got sorted out. It's not necessarily obviously purposeful, it's empty. How does that feel for you? Just notice as I'm talking about it. Because actually that space by definition is empty, it's a void, and it offers us the opportunity for things to come into it. But what we have a tendency to, hands up, what we have a tendency to, I'm always learning and growing in this area myself, we have a tendency to do is to want to fill it because it can feel unsettling, unnerving, uncomfortable, just unfamiliar, you know, certainly speaking from my own, you know, background in life, in my culture, and you know, society's norms, we have been conditioned and used to being very busy and very intentional about every little bit of time. And the conditioning that I've had in my parenting mind, you know, it's not conscious stuff, but I've become aware of the beliefs and thoughts that I've held around parenting about how we ought to be, you know, engaging our children in activities, in education, in socializing, in, you know, doing proactively something which is that we can evidence, you know, to other people, to authorities, to our inner self, you know. And I just invite you to notice that today as I sit and notice that with you, that actually space is where sometimes things that need clearing out, letting go of, get a chance to emerge. And sometimes that's really difficult to be with because sometimes it's the, you know, it's the letting go of the waste, it's the ugly stuff, it's the shitty, crappy, poopy stuff. Sometimes that's intense emotions come to the surface. The resistance shows up in all kinds of ways. Intense emotions. I'm bored, you know, do you hear that a lot? I'm bored. And we can find it really uncomfortable to sit with that, so we can want to jump in and fill that void. Let me give you something to do. Let me give you some ideas. I'm just breathing into that myself, you know, noticing, you know, where that feeling comes in as a parent. So I'm just inviting you to notice what's stirring as I'm talking. And actually in that space is where we have the opportunity for our inner guidance, divine spark, however you view it or experience it. Your gut gets a chance to give you a response, to move you towards something. Your heart leads you to something. You're able to really hear that clear, calm voice guiding you, which is beyond that in the moment reactivity. And actually maybe a new opportunity opens up. Maybe it's an inspiration to do the smallest of things, to go and make some avocado on toast, or phone a friend, or put some moisturisers on your hand because you notice that they feel a bit dry, and that little bit of self-care inspires you. Maybe it's that corner of that kitchen cupboard that gets neglected, needs a little clean out, you know. Maybe it's to pet the cat because she comes and sits with you and says, notice me, because it's a reciprocal experience of petting a cat, isn't it? They receive and you receive in your giving. And, you know, maybe those invitations can come through in that space to guide you. So, yeah, so there you go, sitting in space and exploring that today with you. That reminds me, I had an inspiration for a few things recently. I've been really sitting in my own space and resisting my urge to push and move faster than it is unfolding and revealing itself to me and what I want to bring out to you as my community and my work. And one of the names that flowed to me was Parents in Space. And I hadn't shared that out, but because I'm talking about space, I'm going to reflect that out. If anyone has any comments on that, I'm interested to know, because at the moment I've been focused on bringing together what is a working name of the Freedom Centre, which is talking about what I share with you and why I share it, about EFT techniques for PDA parents, and how and why I use that, and invite you into that knowledge of how you can get concrete in using emotional freedom techniques to set yourself free in your own lived experience, not despite having a PDA child, but because you have a child with PDA, because they invite us through their being to sit with finding freedom within ourselves, which is not conditional on the experience of them. And we're constantly invited into that, because by their nature, they show up with the gift of not bending, not giving, not here to please us, not here to meet our criteria, not here to shine on our behalf. And it all comes back as a mirror to us. And that is hard. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I see you. I hear you. I know the challenges in that. And trust me, I'm doing still all my own healing and growth and deconditioning work all the time. New layers showing up all the time around this. But it invites us into this beautiful space of, and actually I'm doing a talk for somebody soon in their membership group around this, the gift of the unconditional that comes through having a child with PDA. So yeah, lots bubbling around for me through this eclipse season about what I want to birth, but at the moment, being in space, being in receiving, being in healing, being in pause, it's very much for me. I don't know about you, but a lot of stuff is coming to the surface, which some of it feels like I want to push it away because it's the ugly stuff, it's the shadow stuff, but I know there's the gifts in that. Sending love to you if you're in that too. Right, today we are going to gym. I'll be on the treadmill because that's what we tend to do the most. I tend to walk on the treadmill next to my girl. She does a bit of that and a bit of the other. And then we're going to our home ed group. So that's our flow for the day. Have a super one. Lots of love. Oh, by the way, if anybody is talking about space and going through stuff at the moment, I do have a couple of available slots coming up before we take a family vacation over the Easter break. So I've got a slot UK time Friday evening, and I could make some space. Not all of these, but I can put some of these in. I try and offer flexibility. I don't do all of these slots, but Friday evening, Saturday evening, or sometimes Sunday is available for me this coming weekend if anyone's looking for that space. All right, just send me a communication of your choice if you need any details, if you want to chat about if that's for you and you want to know any details of that. Bye.